Hey Internet, my name is Sebbi and welcome back to a brand new episode of Coffee Break. Today is Sunday, June 1st, and yeah, I have so many different things to talk about that I'm pretty sure that I'm not able to cover all the topics in this episode again. Well, as usual, because I have so many things to talk about that I'm always running out of time. And so yeah, the first thing I like to mention is the beautiful rocket launch on Wednesday. So Wednesday evening we had the rocket launch on Baikonur Cosmodrome of 3 new astronauts up to the International Space Station. And it was beautiful weather there. It was a nighttime launch, and because the sky was clear, the rocket was visual for a very, very long time, and this was just amazing. And yeah, they had no issues at all. So in this case, it was no problem for them to do the 6-hour flight up to the International Space Station instead of the 48 hours, which was the normal approach. And now it seems to be pretty possible that the 6-hour approach is the normal approach, and this is pretty cool. And so yeah, launch was at just short before 10 p.m. Central European Summer Time, and 6 hours later at 4 a.m. Central European Summer Time was the docking of the Soyuz capsule to the International Space Station. In this case, it was a little bit too early for me. I missed the docking, but I set my alarm clock so that I was able to catch the hatch opening and welcome ceremony, which was also pretty amazing. So I set my alarm clock for 5 a.m. And yeah, so I woke up, and well, the hatch opening was scheduled for 5:20 or 5:30, so I had enough time to catch up for the replay of the docking and to get all the other latest news about the spaceflight. And so there I was well prepared. And finally, around 5:40, all the times I'm now announcing or all the times I'm now referring to are Central European summertime, so not GMT. And so yeah, just for you that you're aware of it, I'm talking about my local time zone, so Central European summertime. And so yeah, around 5:40 there was a hatch opening, and yeah, they smiled and they were happy and they pretty much enjoyed the ride. And right now they have spent already some days at the International Space Station. The first tweets were posted and the first pictures were posted, and it's pretty interesting and pretty amazing, and they seem to pretty much enjoy their ride. Um, yeah, there was yesterday on Saturday, there was a nice tweet from Reed Wiseman. It was his first time on the as he did some workouts, some running, and here, so during his running, or the very first time for running, it was pretty strange for him because he felt that, well, I don't know, the food was bouncing around in his stomach, and I think this must be pretty awkward if you feel that there's something strange going on inside you because there is no gravity, and so this is pretty interesting. And yeah, also a lot of beautiful pictures were posted from the Soyuz capsule itself, and from specific landscapes of our Earth. So this is pretty amazing. This was really great, and I pretty much enjoyed the launch. And yeah, so it was pretty amazing. And one thing I need to mention on Thursday, so Thursday morning, Thursday was a chicken, and I think I need some food. Sorry, chicken, but you are so delicious. On Thursday there was a holiday in Germany, and so yeah, I got up at 5 a.m. on a holiday, and this is just for spaceflight related things. And yeah, this is really what interest is all about. So yeah, I pretty much enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun. I don't know, I want to keep the feathers. And this was really amazing to follow this, and it was also very nice to to see the whole coverage of the Soyuz launch because well, they had also some inside views, and it was nice to see, especially at the moment as they reached their orbit and as they reached orbital velocity and they had the engine cut off. They felt quite a jolt, so they were pressed a little bit in their seatbelts because suddenly the acceleration stopped. And yeah, at this point they were floating, and this is pretty interesting. And this is also one thing I was talking about in my Soyuz launch sequence explanation, because yeah, I said already this must be pretty amazing. Once you're being launched on top of this rocket, you feel the gravity, you feel the heavy acceleration, and suddenly everything stops and you are weightless and you're floating around. So this must be really crazy. And so yeah, this was just amazing to follow. And yeah, so this was also they had exactly at the time at the engine cutoff was taking place the inside view, and you saw how the astronauts suddenly were I don't know, they felt quite a jolt, and so then yeah, they everything around them starts to float. So Maxime had some kind of, I don't know what control surface it was, what he had in his hand, not the stick to have a little longer reach to reach the buttons, no a different thing. And this thing started suddenly to float around, and at this point I was aware, okay, you are now in weightless, you are now in orbit. And I think this was pretty intense or pretty interesting for the astronauts to feel for the very first time the weightlessness for a long time. Okay, and speaking about spaceflight related things, at first I need to say that I did at least two mistakes in my launch sequence explanation in the last episode, because on the one hand, the launch escape tower is jettisoned at the same time when the four boosters are jettisoned, and I said it will be jettisoned when the fairing is jettisoned. So this was just because I mixed up some of my notes I have prepared for for our last episode. And yeah, so I mixed it up, and I'm sorry for this. And the other thing I noticed during the rocket launch, that they experienced more than 3.5 G. It was up to, I don't know, a little bit more than 4 G, maybe 4.5 G of acceleration or so at some point. So this was also a quite intense acceleration, and it was pretty interesting to see this. So yeah, I needed to say these two corrections because, well, yeah, if I'm doing such an explanation, I like to have everything correct and everything right. And if I'm doing a mistake, then yeah, I like to correct it, because it's not really good if okay, well, the internet is full of wrong statements, but I don't need to add wrong statements to the internet by myself. So in this case, I like to just correct for it if I'm saying something wrong. And yeah, so now hopefully I have managed that everything is now correct and everything is as it is. So yeah, so much about this. And before I come to the next spaceflight related thing, I'd like to talk a little bit or give a short announcement for the 100 subscriber special episode. I was talking already about this, that I have something specific in mind, and I have already recorded this. I have even uploaded it to YouTube, but it's currently private. Yeah, it's currently set to private. So I can schedule it when I like to schedule it. And this is mostly due to the fact that I recorded it, I thought it was quite nice, I rendered it, but I haven't watched it completely, so I need to check it if I'm really happy with it and if I really like to publish it. And once I checked it and once I'm really happy with it, I will yeah, release it, and you can watch the 100 subscriber special episode. So the good thing is it's already recorded, it's already up to on YouTube, but I need to check it if I'm really happy with it, or if I need to postpone, or I need to redo it again, because I'm not so happy with it as I wish it would have been. So in this case, stay tuned. We will have definitely a 100 subscriber special episode, and I'm pretty excited to hear what you are thinking, or what your thoughts on the special episode once it is released. Because, well, I think it's pretty cool, but yeah, I don't know what you think about this. So I'm really looking forward to hear from you, and what you're thinking about my special episode. So be a little bit patient. It will be released pretty soon, hopefully. Okay, the sun is setting again, and I can start the next topic, because on Friday, SpaceX has revealed their Dragon Capsule version 2, the next version of it, and this will be a crewed capsule. So this is pretty cool, because now commercial spaceflight is already working pretty long on a manned spacecraft. And yeah, SpaceX now has revealed their Dragon Capsule version 2. And I don't know. I think the presentation was pretty amazing. It was a short and neat presentation from Elon Musk, and I pretty much enjoyed it, and it was interesting. Well, I haven't seen it live, because again, it was, I don't know, I think they're in California or so, and so they did it in the evening, which resulted for me again around 4 a.m. or so, or 3 a.m. So it was again too early for me to catch it live, but I watched the replay of it, and here I pretty much enjoyed it. It was quite interesting, and the most exciting part about this thing is that it should do or should perform a propulsive landing. In this case, the spacecraft itself has some rocket engines, and once it drops down into the atmosphere and it's slowed down by the atmosphere, the rocket engines will start its drop, or their drop, and will slow down even more the spacecraft, so that the spacecraft can let me just prepare something for my building project. Okay, so that the spacecraft can land with its own power. And yeah, Elon Musk said this could be even as precise as a landing with a helicopter. So this is really amazing. If you think about this, they are dropping down from space, and then they have a very precise landing. So I'm pretty much excited to see the first test flight of it. And yeah, but they have also a backup parachute, so just in case that they have a failure with the engines, or the computer notice any issue with the engine, then they can still use parachutes and have a parachute landing. And the next exciting thing is that the Dragon version 2 spacecraft should be... Okay, there's a sheep. I was looking for sheeps, because I need some sheeps. Now I just need I need my wheat to get the sheep. But I think the wheat will take some time. But I can remember that sheep is in this direction if I want to have a jeep. Okay, where was I? So yeah, they also want to reuse the spacecraft. So Elon Musk said basically the thing lands, and then you just need to refuel it, and it's good to go again. You just need to mount it on top of a rocket, and here we go. We can launch again into space, and this is pretty cool. So they improved also the heat shield, that the heat shield can survive or can be used more than once. And so yeah, this is also pretty cool. This is a pretty nice idea. And yeah, I'm pretty much, as I said, looking forward to the first test flight out of it, when they do the very first landing, and if everything works well. And yeah, but on the other hand, yeah, I'm not quite shocked or so, but I don't know, it's a strange thing to see this, because it's basically a crew shuttle. So this thing should or will have about 7 seats, so that it can launch 7 astronauts up into space, up to the International Space Station. But I think this is all it can do, because, well, the first thing, maybe it was just a mock-up or so, what was standing around at the SpaceX headquarters. Yeah, it has just the seats, and I guess maybe in a later point they will add some, I don't know, some space for some supplies also, or anything they want to send up to the International Space Station. But in general, it looked pretty much like it's just the seats and nothing more. And if you compare this to the, well, of course, the very first missions with Gemini, Mercury, and so on, they're all about preparation for the moon landing. So there was everything about science. Then the Soyuz spacecraft even has the remnants of science. So they have the orbital module. The orbital module was used for experiments and science during Soyuz flights in the early times, and now it's used for storage. And it's also a little bit like crew quarter, as you might say, the orbital module. And in this case, it's a little bit strange to see the Dragon spacecraft, the Dragon Capsule version 2. Only the interior, nothing around, nothing for science, nothing else. And this is, yeah, I'm not sure. At first I was a little bit shocked, or I was a little bit, well, astonished that there isn't anything more. But on the other hand, I was already talking about this. The Soyuz capsule made it again within 6 hours up to the International Space Station, and the way back home is also quite fast. So in this case, you don't need really something like an orbital module or something like this, where you can even spend longer duration in space without being docked to the International Space Station. And well, the Dragon Capsule version 2 is just designed to bring astronauts up to the International Space Station, and not for doing some experiments in space. So it's not like the Space Shuttle or so, which was also used to conduct some experiments or to launch some satellites into space or so. And in this case, yeah, I think this explains the design, why it's just like a crew shuttle up into orbit and nothing more. And so at first I was a little bit yeah, disappointed that there is no science also directly related to this. But on the other hand, well, with the 6-hour flight up to the International Space Station, you even don't need more. You have everything you need. It would be no use to have more things going around when you just want to fly up to the International Space Station and want to be there. And yeah, in this case, I think it's a pretty good design. And okay, there goes my shovel. And it's a nice idea, but when you're used to have always some science related to the spacecraft, then it's a little bit strange when suddenly there is no science compartment, there is no orbital module, nothing else, and it's just to bring the crew up into space. So yeah, this is a little bit strange, but I think we will get pretty used to it pretty soon, because when the thing gets used more often, then spaceflight becomes, on the one hand, cheaper, and yeah, it's more about just, okay, let's take the next rocket up to the International Space Station. It's like to go by plane also today. In this case, yeah, I think it was also an analogy of Elon Musk that he said something about, was it Elon Musk? I don't know. At some point or somewhere I caught the statement that, well, the development is important, and especially yeah, I think it was Elon Musk about the reusability, because he was talking about that even airplanes are used more than once, and he brought up the analogy, if you would use an airplane and throw it away after each flight, then flying would be pretty expensive. And so in this case, he said, okay, if we now making our Dragon capsule reusable, then yeah, it's get also a little bit cheaper. And so yeah, there was also a calculation somewhere published that flying by the Dragon capsule is definitely cheaper than flying by the Soyuz capsule. And in this case, yeah, it's pretty interesting, it's pretty great. And yeah, my first concerns about, well, there is no science in it, Yeah, it's just a crew transporter, so I think, yeah, of course, there will be some more scientific spacecraft being constructed. Especially, you can talk about the Orion spacecraft. The Orion spacecraft, which should bring humans uh, to the moon and even beyond the moon. Well, it definitely is connected with science, and it will definitely have some more science things added to it. So yeah, the Dragon spacecraft, Dragon Capsule version 2, is just about. Okay, this looks already quite nice. It's already a nice plane. This is amazing. It's just to bring astronauts up into space. So this is all it's about. And in this case, yeah, I think this is pretty cool, and I pretty much like the idea, and yeah, as I said, I'm already looking pretty much forward to this. And yeah, okay, the sun is setting. Um, so much at first about the space flight and astronomy and so unrelated things. What's next? I got one question, or better, three questions from Evernerdy, and he asked me what kind of music I'm listening to, what are my favorite movies, and what are my favorite TV shows. But yeah, as you can see, we are running out of time, and I also wanted to talk about Cursor at one time, but I think I can't do this also in this episode because, as I said, we are running out of time. And yeah, okay, can I answer one question? Yeah, maybe I can start off with the TV show question. So, my favorite TV shows. Oh, I have a lot of TV shows. Um, Pretty well. One of the things I was pretty enjoying was Scrubs. Scrubs was pretty cool. Well, it's ended now, the series, so no more Scrubs for me. Then I was pretty much enjoying How I Met Your Mother. Yeah, I pretty much enjoyed the series. I had a lot of fun, especially with all the things Barney was doing, and so it was also one of my favorite shows. But unfortunately, this show is also over. It's at its end. The final episode was broadcasted, and I don't know if you have watched the final episode of How I Met Your Mother, or if you're interested in. But I was, yeah. Well, you can discuss a lot about this last episode, and I don't want to spoil anything. So in this case, yeah. I don't want to spoil too much, but I wished a little bit a different ending. And yeah, we are now running out of time. It's time to go to bed. In this case, I think I will continue with this favorite series, favorite TV show in the next episode, because yeah, we are now at the end of today's episode, and I I really want to take enough time to answer everything. In this case, yeah, I will just say we will continue with it in the next episode. Let me just grab the pork chop and start another stack of cobblestone. And now, in this case, thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked this additional spaceflight related episode. And in the next episode, I will hopefully be able to answer the other questions, and I will be hopefully able to talk about Cursor. And maybe you have also a question for me, so don't hesitate, add it into the comments, and I can answer it in the next episode. So, thank you so much for watching again. I hope you liked this. Until next episode, my name is Sebbi. See you!